Pro 7 consists of Zero Profile Production and next part Sakura Forest Girls. So let's continue where we left off. We are apparently sleeping next to Ayana right now. Well, apparently not sleeping. Ayana seems to be asleep, but we haven't fallen asleep yet. Ayana. I let my eyes trail across her in the dark, taking her shadowy profile. Ayana is in her undergarments, and she is already fast asleep. Her face is inches away from my own, her pale lashes matted together. Her lips are pursed in sleep, and she snuffles softly like a piglet. Something. She must have exhausted after the events of the lady. She falls asleep the moment her head touched the cushion. She sleeps deeply with her nary any sense of danger. She often looks arrogant while waking, but in sleep she relaxes. She looks small and vulnerable, utterly defenseless. Hey, Ayana, I murmur, my voice low in the still night air. Do you really think we can trust Maya? Really, that's a good point. I never thought about it that way. Talking to you really helps. Another silent remark. You sure are roll today. Tonight. I smile to myself. There's no point trying to hold a conversation with somebody who's passed out. I'd better off conversing with an impotent spot or maybe a wicker basket. But Diana is far more charming than both of those commonplace items, particularly when she is snoring. Would she be embarrassed to know that she snuffles in her sleep? I kind of want to tease her about it come to morning, but it might be better to abstain. We already have Maya to fill up our teasing rather quote, though I'm not at all convinced Maya is a real comrade. There's too much about her I don't know. Her motives are a mystery to me. I wonder why Maya decided to let us stay here. Maybe she is lonely or bored. Or maybe she has some dark ulterior motive we can't guess at. She's gonna sacrifice us to the old gods. No, that's not what I believe would happen. And as far as everyone that watched a good part of my Sakura knows, I always guess right. And that's not a guess. That's just a strange remark. I'm still not sure, but don't worry. I'll take care of you, Ayana, no matter what happens. If she's a foe, I won't let her harm you. And if she's a friend, well, I have to give her a stern talk about how friends are supposed to treat one another. I will let her manipulate, embarrass, or take advantage of you. I withstand any indignity for your sake, so you can rest well. I take Anna's fingers in my own beneath the blanket and give them a soft squeeze. I'll protect you, I promise. Wake up, my adorable little chicks, wake up. What? I'm roused from my slumber by a bright, cheerful voice. It sounds like Coco's, but no, it can't be her. I see Coco's frequently in my dreams, but I haven't spoken to her in person for years. Who could it be? Since I set out on this journey, the only company I have is Ayana, and the voice most definitely does not belong to her. Wake up, girls, rise and shine. The sun has woken up, and so too must you. You have a very busy day ahead of you. There's a lot of work I want you to do. Work. Oh wait, I don't much like the sound of that. I like to crawl back on my covers, which really are very warm, and drift off back to sleep. But my parents are serious people, and they impressed upon me the importance of rising early during my childhood. I can't afford to give any slower lines. They would be setting up a very bad example for Ayana. Come on, wakey, wakey. It's a beautiful day, and I won't have you sleeping it away. That would be a huge waste. And I'm hungry. I need somebody to make me breakfast before I starve. I can feel Death's cold, icy claws winding about my throat already. Sniff, sniff. First is being pretty insistent wherever they are. I guess I have no choice. I sit up to start in my blankets and yawn. Rub my eyes with the back of my arm and look about the surrounding blearily. I expect myself to be back in the leaf-strewn tent I shared with Diana in the abandoned village in the cusp of the woods. But surely mistaken. I'm in a strange dark hut with warped wooden walls and the ceiling much more sturdy than fabric. The floor is strewn in intricately patterned rugs and cushions, and the scent of herbs and spices hangs heavy in the air. Where am I? Good morning, sunshine. I must say you look quite the sight. There is a mess, and your eyes are still gummed up very asleep. I thought you would be able to protect your fair princess like that. For all your grand standing, you are quite a poor warrior indeed. What? I whip my head about and soon come to face with the woman who awoken me. She isn't Coca, and she certainly isn't Diana. She has an unfamiliar face, her nose squalene, her lips full, and green-yellow eyes is certainly bright. A strange aroma emanates from her with make me feel uneasy. I have about as much sensitivity to magic as a stone, but even I can sense there's something off about her. I don't think she's an ordinary human. There's no way I can trust her. Stay back. I reach for my spear, but upon realizing I don't have it, I'm forced to settle for a cushion. I hit the cushion tight and hold it between me and the mysterious woman like a shield. I don't know who you are, but I don't come any closer. I won't have you laying a single finger upon myself or Ayana. What? Anna was laying beside me, stirs, then sits up, her white hair messy, and glances at me askance. Something wrong, Ayaja? Yes, there is. Something is very wrong. Very, very wrong. That wicked woman must have kidnapped us in the night. She's taken us here to a lair, and now she means to have her wicked way with us, but don't worry, I'll protect you. Huh. She might have taken away my spear, but I still have this cushion. You sound awfully confident. Woman Tillers, and what do you intend to do with the cushion, I look about fitfully. I'm beginning to doubt myself. A nagging voice is telling me that I forgot something very important. But I can't back down. My parents taught me when faced with the adversary, one should never crumple. That will only make you look weak. Smash your face in. With a cushion. Yes, with a cushion. They can be pretty powerful when wielded by the right person. I have a lot of training. My strength is in second to none. I'm sure I could take you on in a fight without a real weapon. So it's a fight you want, is it? The woman chuckles. For somebody who's was catatonic 10 minutes prior, you suddenly have a lot of energy. I cannot say I dislike it, but I think the energy would be better served put towards a more practical purpose, such as procuring our breakfast. No, but put the cushion down, Miss Warrior. I mean you no harm. No, I won't. I don't trust you. Goodness me. That's such a look of vital in your face. Who am I about? Perhaps I press our bodies together. You will recall who I am. Your lost memories shall come flooding back. Do you want to try it? What? No! Don't come any closer, you weirdo. Stop it. Freak. Pervert. Yeah. Oof. And so it's with a high-pitched scream I am not all proud of. I hurled the cushion at my attacker's face. I thought you were bluffing, but you weren't wrong when you said your strength is second to none. You are surprisingly strong. Very few people have been able to make my nose bleed. It's quite refreshing in a way. Though it doesn't sting somewhat. Oh. I have winches, a piece of cloth pressed to her right nostril. She's sitting in her elaborate padded chair, her legs folded, her hair somewhat rumpled off the phrases with the cushion, and her expression is baleful. I didn't think I'd actually be able to hurt her with that cushion, much less make her nose bleed, but my fear must have heightened my strength. I flung that cushion at her with all the force I can muster, and the corner happened to catch her nose. Now it's bleeding. I was gone through 2 pieces of cloth already in an attempt to stem the flow, and it shows no sign of stopping. She pouts. I can see I should not underestimate you in the future, Miss Warrior. Even without your spear, you are deadly. I am very strong myself, of course, but that's only with my magic. Physically, I am as weak as a newborn kitten. You moved so suddenly, I did not have time to defend myself. Yeah. I sighed. How should I feel about this? Well, I would want to say that she had it coming, but she hasn't technically not drew blood from us, at least not yet. So I can't help feel a little bit guilty, at least. Now that I'm a little more awake than I was, and Diana has explained the situation to me, I started to feel guilt about my actions. I can't believe I forgot who Maya was. Her presence commanding, she should have made a strong impression. I really must have worn myself out yesterday. I still don't trust Maya, but throwing a cushion in her face is no way to go about forming a relationship with her. Okay, I'm not gonna say that. YouTube is really mean against me for everything. Anyway, they don't like me doing Sakura stories. They hate it. They can't technically remove it because the guidelines are allowing actual Sakura stories, but they have no guidelines saying that the miniature pictures I put for every clip is allowed. So they're on my ass about it every time. I didn't mean to hurt you. Really now. My teacher's down when she says pain in the flesh so in her nose and you. Despite your protestations to the other way, you did use an awful lot of force earlier. That seems to run quite contrary to your claims. You did not wish to wound me. Well, yeah. I ran a hand through my hair. I was half asleep and I was afraid. I guess it was a fight or flight response. If I'd been more cogent, I wouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. It's quite alright. I lost and winches again. Crimson blood continues to trickle out of her nostrils, where she whips up with as much fineness as she can muster. I've not sustained an injury like this in quite a long time. It's a novel experience, though a painful one. At the very least, it's not boring. You have lived under my roof for only a few brief time, yet you have already provided me provided me with ample entertainment. I can see I was correct to let you girls stay here. I hope you will continue to amuse me. Though I pray your next effort will not result in a further destruction of my beautiful face. To call your own face beautiful. There's an eyebrow. That's kind of narcissistic. Narcissistic? Well, I don't know. What is it? I see no issue with being confident in one's own appearance. In fact, I believe there would be a vastly better place if its inhabitants were more confident in their own skins. It would certainly reduce the number of unhappy people who there, and it would reduce my own workload. Many people come here to asking you to have their appearance changed via magic. There are many, yes. It's a very tedious affair. If one must nourish a selfish desire, I wish they were, at the very least, inventive. My natural nose, which is still bleeding, and smiles. But never mind. Your wish is interesting enough, which is why I'm considering it. That is also why I'll not take much umbrage at your carelessness. Not this time, at least. My eye flicks a sincere stare, sharper than a knife's edge I swallow. She's taking it pretty well, but I dread to think she might do if I cause her any further harm. Will she really turn me into a frog? I don't know the full extent of Maya's abilities, but based on her self-importance, way she speaks, you think you're capable of doing anything. Well, turning a human into a frog, considering a human don't lay eggs and frogs do, she couldn't technically turn you into a frog, but she could probably cause a pretty powerful illusion that would make you think you are a frog, which would of course be kind of the same thing. Now, shall we set this unpleasant business behind us? I am hungry, and I would not say no to one of your delicious meals, Ayana. I should, I hope, help replenish the energy I lost this morning. Yes, of course. I would be more than happy to cook for you, if you would not mind catching the food, Jaja. I guess I have no choice. I stretched cracking my joints. If we went to find Coco, we got to answer to your beck and call. Isn't that how this works? What a fast learner you are. Yes, you are not quite as stupid as you look. Gee, thanks. Oh my eyes. Alright, I go fishing. Do you want me to use that rod of yours again? If you would. Take the rod, then turn to Ayana. Are you coming? Of course. I'm not sure if I'll be much use, but I will try to help. Simply having you around cheers me up. You're already helping. Smile at Ayana, then turn to Maya. I'll see you later, and once again I'm sorry about your nose. It's alright, we all make mistakes. Even you? From time to time, yes. I do not make mistakes as often as lesser mortals, given my vast knowledge and exalted status, but not even I am infallible. I won't judge you for your clumsiness. Thanks. I turned away from my face flushed. I didn't think she'd be so understanding about all of this. It's right up here, fastened to my clock, so I'm taking the clock off. She might be smug and proud, and she doesn't seem to care much about other people's feelings, but she's not completely unreasonable. I started to think she might not be as bad as I once feared. No, she was. Yeah, I can trust her after all. No, you can't. I certainly hope so. If not, I have no idea how Yana and I will ever find Coco. Then the time passes by quicker than I thought it would, and soon a whole week elapses. During this week, Ayana and I are kept busy attending to Maya's manifold wishes and whims. I'm tasked with producing food every day while Ayana prepares and cooks it. My parents trained me to use a spear from childhood and are not a stranger to hunting, but looking after Maya is even more exhausting if you can credit it. For a woman who acts irreverent, she's awfully demanding. She likes to have things done in a certain way, and she has no qualms about asking Ayana and I to redo our chores. She doesn't care one whit about wasting our time. I'm beginning to suspect quite strongly that she doesn't care about anybody save herself. That's awfully selfish. But she isn't quite as bad as I feared. She continues to tease me, but it's without some of her earlier vitriol. They incensed me so. Exacting though she is, compliments us when we're done well, and none of her demands are impossible. Maya is careful not to push us to the brink of exhaustion. Exhaustion. Ayana and I are afforded evenings off where the three of us play Pico or sit outside and examine the stars. I never paid much attention to the stars before. I always thought them too distant to have a bearing on my life. They're just pinpricks of light, and they don't serve any tangible purpose. The stars can't fill your belly or keep you warm. They're not worth contemplating. That was what I believed. But Maya, as it transpires, is very knowledgeable about the stars. She spent many years with only constellation for company, and she knows all their names and the legends associated with them. She tells Ayana the stories night after night, her voice sweet and silken like honey. I was standoffish at first, afraid of being lulled into a false sense of security, but as the days wear on, so too does my resolve. I like to keep my distance from Maya, but it's hard to maintain a aloofness when her tales are so unexpectedly interesting. Maya is a naturally born storyteller. She paints pictures with her words so vivid I can see them unfolding before my very eyes. Countries rise from the dust, maidens emerges from pools of moonlit water, and warriors go to battle with the halberds in hand. Yeah. All these tales of love, loss, and sacrifice are recorded in the stars above our heads. They're like a tapestry full of the brim with stories. These stories were one unknown to me, but the cadence of Maya's voice brings them to life. Wasn't she telling Ayana all of these? Because she looks kind of left out. But that does mean that's the end of this episode. So at least that was all I have for Sakura Forest Girls this time. Let's hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.